Hey friends, how's it going? Ash here, welcome back to Gents. Hope you're well. We got another viewer's choice video today. I asked you guys a little while back, what is the one fragrance that you can wear year-round, regardless of the weather, regardless of the temperature? And I got 15 of your answers right here. So that's what we're doing today, guys. Fragrances that you can wear all year round, regardless of the weather. All of these are gonna be linked in the description below. Let's get started. First up, we have Gaultier 83. Kind of reminds me of Borgor. He was popular, okay, at one point in time. Dating myself a little bit there. Dior Homme 2020. All he says, which really, I guess that's all you gotta say, right? Dior Homme 2020, very, very, very different from Dior Homme Original, which for a lot of people, was a big drawback when it first released. I gotta stop doing that. Spray it right in front of my face, immediately ingest it. The original Dior Homme though, that was really iris forward. It had a creamy iris that was a little bit makeup-y, lipsticky, and a lot of people loved that, myself included, but some people really didn't. And as time went on and fragrances changed a little bit, that type of scent was viewed as less versatile, which to be fair, it kind of is for a lot of people. And Dior wanted to go another direction, which is what they did. This one is really fresh, a little bit spicy, has a nice woodiness that's all the way throughout the fragrance from the opening to the dry down. One thing I will say about this, it grew on me a ton. I love this stuff now, and it is ultra versatile. So this one, year-round use, yeah, easily. I think that this could be a signature scent with no issues whatsoever. Next fragrance is from Javier Barreto 9803, who says Xerjoff 1861 Renaissance, especially in the cold weather. It smells better than it does during summer. This is one thing I want to point out really quickly, and I've talked about this on the channel a number of times. Wear your summertime fragrances in the cold. See how they work for you. Because yes, fragrances typically have a season or a time that they'd be better suited, like an evening fragrance, a date fragrance, a formal fragrance, business fragrance, an office fragrance, you know. There are a lot of different ways that you can lump fragrances in, but a lot of times, summertime scents will smell amazing when it's cold outside. They really just come across very brisk and fresh, and they take on different facets than when it's really warm out. Renaissance is a good one too. This is kind of a Xerjoff that to an extent flies under the radar a little bit. Fantastic citrus opening, good amount of mint in there. Again, really fresh, clean, sweet, and has a bit of a classiness to it as well. So Renaissance, yeah, I mean, you can wear this whenever you want. Nobody is ever gonna smell that one and be like, oh no. Nah, super pleasant. Before we hop to the next fragrance, here are a bunch of codes you can use across a number of different websites to save yourself some money. So screenshot this, commit the codes to memory, whatever you wanna do, but if you shop at these sites, use those codes. Next fragrance comes to us from Johnny B 9914. 1 Million Parfum, rich and creamy in the cold, sweet in the warmer weather. Yeah, 1 Million Parfum is one of those fragrances that I didn't like immediately gravitate toward, but it is a compliment monster. A lot of people, when I've been testing this out, or I've had them smell it, or I've just been wearing it around like when it first came out and everything, really love this stuff. It just had like a magnetic nature to it, but for my own personal taste, there are a lot of other fragrances that I would rather wear. I can't deny though the mass appeal of this thing, absolutely. So it has a sunscreen sort of feel to it, solar notes, and a leather aspect as well. The whole story behind it was that the perfumer had like sun lotion basically that had spilled inside of a leather bag, and that kind of scent profile, you know, those things mixing together was really addictive, and so they created this. But as he says, it does have a rich, creamy feel. In the cold, it will absolutely work. In the warmer weather, it would work as well. Though for me, I'd probably tone it down a little bit in summertime as compared to winter, just because it is a 1 million. And with that performance, that sweet aspect, you go really heavy and it's very hot outside, could be a bit overwhelming to people. But I know a lot of people actually want that. They're like, look, dude,
I'm gonna wear the fragrance until people drop like flies. I want them to smell me a lot.
I'm just like, all right, good for you, man. That's great. Good luck, thank you. That's great, really. Is it gone? Oh. Tyler Haley, 8478 says, Bleu de Chanel Eau de Parfum, super normie answer, but it works. I mean, super normie answer, I guess. Yeah, in the sense that it's really popular and everybody knows it, for sure. But that's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing at all. Like you say, it works. I was actually thinking about this the other day. You know how they have that meme template and it's like the bell curve. And on the one side, you have the guy who's like drooling, complete moron. And then in the middle, you have the guy who's beginning to think he's super intelligent. And then at the other side, you have like the Jedi, basically. So the bell curve, you like the morons, most of the people, and the geniuses. I feel like when it comes to fragrances, you could almost have like on the left side, the moron side or whatever. I like this, it smells good. And then in the middle, you would have somebody who's decrying like the overabundance of amberwoods and aroma chemicals in a particular scent profile. I'm disgusted by the over-reliance on the amberwoods that we see across the entire fragrance spectrum nowadays. I would much prefer a natural oud. The more fecal, the better. I revel in the natural pissiness, the barnyard nature of the fragrance. To those peasants that turn away from this exquisite experience, I can only shake my head in disgust. That's in the middle. And then on the right side, you have, this fragrance smells good. I like it. Like, you go through that era where you're just like, I gotta tear down everything. I have to be super specific about everything. And eventually you reach this point where you're just like, it's so tiring. Who gives a crap? I like how it smells. Bleu de Chanel is both of those things. You're on the left and the right side. And you know what? It smells great. People like it. And you can wear this literally anywhere, anytime, any place. Now we have Spinning Serenity, who is giving us a few. Dior Homme Sport, Montblanc Explorer, Aventus, 1 Million Lucky. Dial down the sprays in the summer. Not that we have much of a summer in the UK. Shout out to everybody in the UK. Actually gonna visit the UK this summer. So, Dior Homme Sport, Montblanc Explorer, Aventus, and 1 Million Lucky. Yeah, actually all these. Now to an extent, Explorer and Aventus, you know, is pretty close to the same thing because Explorer is like the designer take on Aventus, right? But really, Aventus style fragrances you can wear whenever you want, right? I mean, most of us would agree that scent profile is just ultra versatile. Daytime, nighttime, any season, absolutely, it's gonna work. Dior Homme Sport is decently similar to Dior Homme 2020, only a little bit fresher. But overall, when you really get down to it, it's quite similar. So if Dior Homme 2020 is gonna work, for sure Dior Homme Sport's gonna work. And it's not really what I consider a sport fragrance. I mean, it's sportier than Dior Homme 2020, it's fresher than Dior Homme 2020, but this has ultra versatility as well. A lot of sport fragrances you would think of more as just like a plain kind of shower gel, freshy out of the shower type scent, but this has much more going on than that. So that's a great choice. And then 1 Million Lucky, yeah, I think that's a perfect one for year round. Like you say, middle of summer, maybe dial it down a little bit, and that's gonna be because of the sweetness that's in here. But that one already, I feel like, is perfectly matched for spring and fall. And a fragrance that's really good during spring and fall, you can wear year round pretty easy. Just in the winter, maybe dial it up a little bit. In the summer, dial it down a little bit. So all four of these, for sure. Peter Williams, 6239, says the entire Terre lineup. Now I'm not gonna pull out every single Terre fragrance and lay it out here, so I just grabbed one. This one is Eau Intense Vetiver. And this is another one that I think, yeah, you could wear this year round. I think maybe the easiest one to wear year round might just be the original. Eau Givre works really well, but that's more of a summertime scent for a lot of people. But going back to what I said before, wear those summertime scents during the winter. Eau Intense Vetiver, maybe some people would like that more than the original Terre d'Hermès because of the boosted up nature of the vetiver that's in there, but then also some of that earthiness, that flintiness has been dialed down / removed. It's one of the all-time classic men's fragrance lines, Terre d'Hermès. The only thing I could say about it is some of the fragrances in the line, if you're just getting into scents, could be a little off-putting. The opening can be a little divisive for some people. The vetiver, that flintiness that's in there, that bit of earthiness that's in there, you know, doesn't work for absolutely everybody. But for me, yeah, it's a home run. Now, this is my dude right here, Tahan24, who says, Versace Eros Flame. I'd just style it back in the summer, but summer nights it shines. I feel like it's been too long since we've had Eros Flame in one of these. For a minute there, every single list that I asked you guys to do, Eros Flame was there. It was right there, but then it's like, it vanished. No love for the flame anymore, but now it's back. And now we got the new Eros Energy coming out. As of when I'm shooting this video, it's not released yet. If you're watching this in the future, hopefully it's good, because I'm actually more hyped for that than anything that's been announced so far this year. Eros Flame no longer the red-headed stepchild. Now it has a new colorful bottle to sit up beside it on the shelves. You know, Eros Eau de Toilette, Eau de Parfum, they were all in there, you know, same looking bottles and everything, looking down on Eros Flame. Nice red bottle, a-hole. But nah, now Eros Energy coming in clutch, I hope. Eros Flame though, absolutely a banger. And really, during summer here, I don't really dial that down compared to, you know, everything else I wear during the summer. Of course, where you are, you know, humidity could be different, temperature could be different, so maybe it makes sense to dial it back depending on where you are. I mean, but yeah, this one, a great mix of fresh and sweet, and a nice little change on the Eros DNA too. Really dig this. It was one that grew on me a lot. Call Nyack1234 says, Jean-Paul Gaultier, Le Mans. It's the original one here. Been wearing it since day one, and I am now 40 years old, and it still works for me with the ladies. So you're 40 years old, means you were born in 84, possibly. So if you've been wearing that since day one, came out in 95, so you were 11. Just 11 years old out there rocking some Le Mans. I could see it. Because to be fair, when I was in like 3rd grade, I was wearing Dracar Noir. So yeah, I think Le Mans would have been a better choice, actually. But that's okay, I didn't have Le Mans, I had Dracar Noir, I wore by the hat. Now, of course, you could just be saying that you wore this from day one, like when you started getting into fragrances, and that would make sense as well, because this one has been very popular ever since it came out, which is going on 3 decades now. So, I mean, it's had some staying power. And obviously, it's been very influential, because some of the biggest releases, at least in the fragrance community, of the last few years have been Le Mans flankers. So while for me personally, you know, I'd wear Le Mans Le Parfum or Le Mans Elixir nowadays, can't really hate on this one because look at everything that it caused. Butterfly effect. And yeah, it still works. It's like the original Aqua de Jo, that still works as well. Classics are classics for a reason. Richard UT1QJ is up next. I feel like that's just an automatically generated username there. Definitely Prada L'Homme. When I don't know what to wear, I go for it, and I'm sure I'm covered in all cases. So this one is iris forward, and it's powdery, soapy, really fresh, clean. And even though it has that iris, even though it does have a bit of a powdery feel to it, it's not so heavy that you can't wear it during summer. So you can really easily pull that one off, like he said, whenever, wherever. It's got that cleanliness like I talked about, a nice classiness to it, so you can wear that in more dressy occasions, you know, to the office or more formal occasions. But then it's not so stuffy that you can't just wear it every day also. I do hope that Prada L'Homme makes a comeback. I really hope it does, because lately Prada has just been concentrating on Luna Rossa Ocean specifically. And yeah, we've not really gotten as much men's stuff from Prada here lately, or at least I feel like we haven't, you know. The women had Paradox, that took off, did really well. But yeah, a little more Prada. Ultimate Wolf 6162 says Montblanc Legend. Just simple. And that makes sense. Legend, big seller, one of the most popular fragrances in the country, in the world for men. Similar, of course, to Abercrombie & Fitch Fierce. Pretty much can't bring up Legend without bringing up Fierce. Fierce walked so Legend could run. And also Legend is way cheaper, so I mean, that doesn't hurt, does it? I'm sure when people started figuring out, wait, I can get Legend that smells a lot like Fierce, not the exact same, but a lot like it, and it's like 1/3 the price. Yeah, I think I'll take that, thanks. This is another one I'm completely on board with. Easily can wear this whenever you want. Versatility through the roof. And the Legend line in general is full of great buys. You know, price-wise, Legend Eau de Toilette, Eau de Parfum, Spirit, Night, they're all good. And the new Legend Blue is good too. Got a couple blue fragrances coming next from Static Hershey 5735. It says Y EDP and Dylan Blue. Can't really argue either of those. You know, those are both toward the top of the pecking order of blue fragrances. Already got Bleu de Chanel right there. So yeah, interestingly enough, Dior Sauvage was not mentioned as often as those. Bleu de Chanel, Dylan Blue, Y Eau de Parfum, Y in general, got a lot more love than Sauvage. Now, of course, Sauvage is the best-selling men's fragrance out there, but I think for maybe a lot of people who are really into fragrances, sometimes Sauvage is looked down on a little bit. Sauvage can be pretty loud, you know, metallic ambroxan that it's got in there. It's got big performance. Of course, big compliment puller, super versatile, but it seems like people seem to gravitate toward one of the other blue fragrances a lot of times, at least again in the fragrance community. But I do want to shout out Sauvage and say that, yeah, as far as just everyday use, you could do a lot worse. I do like Y Eau de Parfum more personally, just my own taste, but yeah, Sauvage still rocks for like this type of usage. Dylan Blue, I think from discounters, the price that you can get this for is one of the better buys out there in the blue fragrance realm. Got a great perfumer, great presentation, good performance, all year usability, nice compliment factor, the whole deal. So you get a lot for your money with this one. And then Y Eau de Parfum, great also. Like I said, I really like this stuff. The apple that's in here is really nice, nice sweetness. The sage, the amberwood that's in here. Oh, we're talking amberwood. You know, bell curve, remember? Both great choices. Forest and Hard is last up. Forest and Hard. I like that one. Reminds me of some of the DJs, producers out there. Mord Fusting, Calm Trues, stuff like that. John Varvatos Vintage. Smells great midwinter and on summer evenings and everything in between. I like this choice. I like this choice a lot. Varvatos Vintage has always been one that I like a bunch, especially when you consider the price point, again, from discounters. You can pick it up for like 25, 30 bucks a lot of times. And that's really, it's really low, that's down there. Obviously it's not apples to apples, but when you're looking at retail price, what can you get for 30 bucks at Macy's? I think that maybe those Pacific Jack fragrances, is that what they're called? I'll look that up. I'm such a moron. Panama Jack, not Pacific Jack. It's not a thing. You can get those for 20 bucks at Macy's, full retail. So this is just barely more expensive than that if you're shopping at discounters. Difference in quality, yeah. Vintage is one that, for me, if I were gonna like lump it into a season, would be more fall, winter, that kind of vibe, because it is more of a warm fragrance. But like a number of Varvatos fragrances, the performance is not monstrous here. So you could pull it off during the summer, just don't go crazy with the trigger. But again, it's Varvatos, so even if you did, I mean, probably wouldn't last that long anyway. Smells great though. So Vintage, gonna wrap this up, and I really like that choice, like I said, because it's a little bit different. And I'll finish up by just saying, realistically, if you like something a lot, if it brings you joy, wear it. Even if it's a summer fragrance and you're in the middle of winter, pull that out, blast it on, and vice versa. Just as long as it's not something that's insanely strong and you're gonna be going somewhere in a tight space and it's really gonna be hot where you're going, then maybe don't do it then. Dial it way down or save it for another day when you're not doing that. But if you like something a lot, wear it. Don't think that you can only wear fresh stuff in summer and the rest of the year it's out of bounds. Can't do it. Nah. Wear it if it makes you happy. Thank you guys. Stay safe out there. See you tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you guys later.